Oh, guys, I'll tell you, man, I'm having a hard time finding energy. And I take vitamins every day, and I'm just, man, I just cannot find energy at all. I think it's because of my high blood pressure medication I take. So I'm going to put the original Vance&Hines pipes back on the bike. I'm going to run them a little bit. The reason why I like them, they're hard to beat. It's not because of the sound, it's because they're tucked in more. With those ambush tuned pipes on there, my legs, when you put your shoot, when you put your legs down when a bike comes to stop, they come out a little wider. So you have to put your legs out a little wider too. I can't tell you how many times I burned my leg on those pipes. So I'm going to take them off. And I'm putting the Vance&Hines back on. What I'd like to have on here is the Paul Yaffe. I think they're called the Paul Yaffe Phantoms. That's what I'd like to put on here, but they're like $1,200, and I can't swing that amount right now. So hey, listen to this. A punk from Cycle Trader wanted to know if a motorcycle's still available. Okay, that's the only lead I got from Cycle Trader. And guess where the punk is from? Minnesota. So naturally, I'm going by what I preached to everybody before about not responding to any kind of bull like that, because that's exactly all it is bull. Because in my ad, I made it in my listing, I made it very specific that I won't respond to anything other than someone wanting to set up an appointment to see the bike, and that's they do that to try to they try to hurt you as much as they possibly can, because they probably are jealous that they don't have this. So the punk, because that's just all he is probably some punk. All he actually did is just waste his time typing that out. He just wasted his time. He wasted maybe 10 or 15 seconds of his life. But yeah, I'm putting the Vance&Hines back on the dog here. And I'm also replacing, there's a bolt on the bottom of the crankcase. It's an oil drain bolt that allows you to drain the oil out of the engine. That has an O-ring on it. I think that's leaking very, very, very slightly. So I bought one of those, and once that comes in, I'm going to pull that little nut out, and there's probably going to be like a quart of oil in the engine. That'll drain out. I should just change the oil. That's what I should do. I should change the oil. Maybe I'll change the oil. Maybe that's what I'll do. But I'm going to change that. Actually, what you're supposed to do to these guys when you change the oil, naturally, you change the filter. You take that little bolt out from underneath the engine, and you drain your oil tank naturally, and then that little valve tappet screen you're supposed to clean. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, I'd say about every other, all depending how many miles is on your bike. Like mine doesn't. Mine has about 5,500 miles. It's basically just broke in. I change my oil filter every other oil change. Now, this is my second oil filter on here. I'll change that. I'll put another oil filter on. Then my next oil change, if I still have the bike, I won't change the filter. I'll just do the oil. So yeah, it's a beautiful day out. Beautiful day. It's like 90 degrees. I think this Thursday and Friday it's going to get close to 100 here. I'm trying to find time, guys, to take this out, man. It's on my shift. It is not easy. It is not easy on my shift. And then I got stuff I'm doing in the house. It is not easy, and my husky, man, I'm neglecting her walks because I come home and I'm tired. I'm tired after my job. So I don't know what to, I don't know what to tell you guys. You guys, man, got to hang in there with me. I appreciate people hanging in there with me with this channel. I really appreciate it. I think I have 904 subs right now. Once I reach 1,000, maybe I'll actually start making like $10 or $15 a month from YouTube. And believe it or not, that'll help. That'll help. That's like a little bit of I could throw in the car for gasoline, man. That will help. And I need all the help I can get. That's why I applaud every single one of you subscribers out there that has stuck with me. You hang in there. You listen to my preaching. You listen to my rant and raves. You put up with my bald head and my big, dumb looking, thuggish looks. I appreciate it. The calf racer show in Swickley is coming up. That I will go to. Last year, I don't even think I took maybe one or two pictures of it. Because like I told you guys before, man, I have a hard time socializing with people. Because, as soon as I'm around large crowds, I immediately think that I'm not welcome because how I grew up, getting bullied like I was intensely bullied. I wasn't just bullied. I was intensely bullied. The other kids in my classroom, they tried to inflict as much pain on me as possible, and they tried to draw blood from me as much as they possibly could, and they did on several occasions. And I don't hold anything against any people, man. I'm not a racist, and I'm not a bigot. The my experience in my grade school and also in my high school too. Back then we had to walk to school in all types of weather. It didn't matter. So I got beat up going to school because they would wait for me behind some trees. As soon as there would be like maybe three or four kids. As soon as they'd see me, they'd jump me. If I had a book, they'd take that or they'd rip the book up. Then they would start telling me to bring money in for them or candy, which I had to do. I had to steal money from my mother and father. Whether it's like 50, 60 cents. And then once I was in school, once the teacher would leave the classroom, they'd slam a book over my head or slam a chair over my head or stab me, and I got stabbed in the hand with a pencil. And if you did real good on your homework, they would see that because the teachers, what they would do is, which this is what they shouldn't have did. But what the teachers would do whenever you had a test, they would grade your paper and say, here, you got an A, here, you got a B. And everyone heard what you got, which the teachers shouldn't have done that. The teachers underestimated the rottenness of the children back then. And I think they still do. So if the other kids see you getting an A or B, they want you now to do their homework. And if you don't, they'll beat the crap out of you. So you were forced not to get A's and B's. You were forced to be stupid. Or you put more work on yourself. So I'd get beat up in the classroom, then coming home would be the same thing. If I didn't sneak out a side door, I got my ass beat. So just imagine being like an 8, 9-year-old, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, 10, 11-year-old kid. You got to look for ways out of the school that no one's going to think of. and you open it like the back door that's in the side somewhere that only the janitor knows about, some hidden, or maybe you climb out a window. I climbed out a window a couple times, and you'd like look around, no one coming, and you would actually go home the long way, which would be 2 or 3 blocks out of your way, just to avoid them, and they would wait for me anyway, and that's I went through 9 years of that hell. So what happens to a kid, man, when they grow up like that is you're raised in fear. You become recluse. You become non-sociable. Like I was telling you guys about these kids that experience these mass shootings. That's how they're going to grow up. That's how they're going to grow up. They're going to grow up reclusive, which means they're not going to want to go anywhere because they're going to be scared of anybody. Because that's how their life is starting. So to this present day, if I would have fought back, maybe I'd have been better off, but I would also got severely beaten. Because my mother always told me that, hey, why don't you fight back? They didn't understand. If you fought back, the next day you were fighting their entire family and any friends they had. If you fought back, you better have been a damn good fighter. I wasn't always like I am right now. I wasn't always like this. So that's why, guys, whenever I go to like a motorcycle show, I fold up. I don't know what to say to anybody because I'm scared to say anything to them. And it's not going to go like that with bikers. But that's how I am inside. That's why if I sell this house here, I'm going to move out to the middle of nowhere where I'm not going to have any neighbors and I'm not going to see anybody because I'm more comfortable like that. And but I appreciate everyone sticking with me. YouTube won't let you make any money from AdSense until you have 1,000 subscriptions, and I think you have to have a minimum of 4,000 views per month, which I have the views, but I don't have the subscriptions. Meanwhile, on some of my videos, they're running commercials. They're running commercials on some of my videos, and I don't get nothing from that. How do you like that? Some of my videos, some of my older videos that I looked at, commercials come up on them. So yeah, I just want to tell you guys, I'm putting the Vance&Hines back on this, man, because they're safer, they're tucked in a lot more, and they're a little louder, but they're safer. Where my leg doesn't have to go out like I'm on a 16-hand thoroughbred. So, see you guys.